Can you send me some additional information? What you say is, look, I understand. If you don't mind, allow me to ask a question. Is it fair to say that if you have employees calling off work or slick, right, distracted at the workplace on their phones or on your phone during company time, trying to handle issues like traffic tickets or family law issues or maybe any other matter of things that may come up in life, an identity theft situation, and they're at the workplace distracted, and they're taking time away from their job, which may be a distraction to others, or it means they're not being productive, which means they're hurting the bottom line. Is that a problem? Once again, that HR director or that HR person or executive, if you can get that question in and they're paying attention, the lion's share of the time they're going to say, well, yeah, that's a problem. Right? You may have some that are rude and obnoxious and say, well, no, that's not a problem. We don't have those issues here. Or matter of fact, our company, you know what? We already cover the employees. If they have legal issues, our legal department handles it for them. Now, all the LegalShield associates listen to this. Internally, you're laughing, right? Because no, they're not. Okay, that just doesn't happen because they don't have the means. Right? That's not what corporate attorneys are there for. It's not to handle the traffic tickets and the divorces and the garnishments and the identity theft situations and AT&T or Sprint or any other company, AT&T and Sprint, any other company, period, from overcharging, right? Or treating them unfairly or some issue where they acquired a product service. That's not what their departments do, but they're going to say any number of different things. Why? Because they are programmed, right, to also screen. Business owners have a lot on their mind. HR executives and directors have a lot on their mind. They're screening. And depending on when you give them a phone call, depending on their attitude, depending on whether or not their spouse threw a skillet at them the previous night, depending on whether or not it was raining or whether or not it was sunny when they walked into the office, depending on whether or not they're already in the market looking for a specific benefit and you're not marketing the benefit they're looking for. A lot of it has to do with timing, right? But understand that, once again, you're sorting, right? And your comfort with the script, your comfort with the pitch, and your speed of delivery, but also clarity of delivery will determine whether or not you catch that person's attention long enough to think and say, that is important. That could be a benefit, right? Now, once that's transpired, look, we resolve these matters. We handle these issues that they may be dealing with at home so they can remain focused at work. Now I'm going to come back to this part, right? I'm going to come back to this, but I'm going to switch gears and talk about the small business script for a moment, right? So we've gotten this piece down where we know we need to quickly deliver the value prop within a short amount of time. I tend to ask questions because of the bass of my voice, and I'm already a fairly aggressive, assertive person. I tend to ask questions so that strength of mine doesn't become a weakness over the phone, right? I like to ask questions to make people think for a moment. Any script that you can use that makes a person pause to listen to you and think is going to be an effective script. That was just mine, right? So allow me to ask a question. Is it fair to say that if you have employees who are calling off work, whether legitimately or they're calling off slick, or they're dealing with situations that are transpiring at home, whether it be a traffic ticket that their son or daughters receive, whether it be a family law issue, an identity theft situation, and they're taking time off work or they're taking up time while they're at work, and there may be a distraction, or they may be so distracted themselves they're not productive, that's a problem, that hurts the bottom line, right? You pick the script that works best for you. That's just a sample of my script and my sample of my opening statement. Okay, so small business script. You're calling a small business owner. We are a 40-plus-year-old corporation that has helped business owners like you or business owners in your industry. You name the industry. We've helped business owners in the, once again, IT industry, in the marketing industry, in the desktop publishing industry, in the collision industry. Name the specific industry. No business owner wants to field a call from someone who's just offering some generic thing that may not even be focused and meet their needs. That's what they're thinking inside, right? Mention the particular industry. So we're a 40-plus-year-old company that's been helping business owners like you in your industry, protect their interests, save money, become more profitable, and acquire additional clients. Now and pause. Don't pause very long, but pause for a moment. Take a breath. Give that business owner time and listen for the feedback, right? Because they're going to offer you some feedback. We're going to come back to what to say next. But understand, that's my initial script. Why? Because business owners are interested in a couple things. They're interested in protecting their interests. Every business owner worth their salt wants to find a way to save money. They want to be more profitable, and they want to acquire additional clients, and we do all of those things. So implied in all of this, right, is you know your product. You know your value proposition. You know what services that you actually offer. Because the question of how is going to come next afterwards, particularly if you're marketing not to HR executives, but you're marketing directly to business owners. You're marketing directly to CEOs, small or large. They're going to ask you how. And this is my approach. There are a multitude of approaches, right? But this is my question that I pose. If you could pick up the phone and have access to some of the best attorneys and business consultants money could buy, to have your questions answered, to have documents and contracts reviewed, they would show up to court for life's challenges, and it literally only costs you $1.50 to $2.50 a day, right? $1.50 to $2.50 a day. How often would you pick up the phone? Now, never mind, you're going to have business owners to respond incredulously, because keep in mind, our service is novel, right? They're not familiar with it. They're accustomed to paying $200 and $400 and $600 an hour. They're accustomed to paying $1,500 to $2,000 to have professionals consult with them, right? Which is why most business owners don't utilize attorneys and consultants. So you're going to get some business owners that are incredulous, right? They're not going to be open-minded. They don't want to hear it. They're lost, right? Keep in mind, you're not a salesperson. You're a sorter. You're going to have some business owners, they're going to say, tell me more, right? You're going to have some business owners that will sit and pause and say, okay, right? You're going to have some business who will just immediately hang up on you. You are a sorter. You're not a salesperson. You're asking a question to get that business owner to answer so you can receive the objection, if there is one to be had, and at a later date, evaluate and understand how to overcome that objection at a later date. So, that's my question. If you could pick up the phone, keep in mind, I ask questions that are designed to make a person pause and think what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. So if you could pick up the phone and have access to some of the best attorneys money and business consultants money could buy, to answer your question, review your documents, show up for court for life's challenges, and it only costs you about $1.50 to $2.50 a day, how often would you pick up the phone? A thinking business owner is going to pause and say, well, I pick up the phone often. But they may say, well, you don't offer that. Or I don't know of any person offers that, right? What kind of attorneys are there? I mean, these are the types of things that are going to happen. We'll talk about overcoming objectives later on, but understand this is the process, right? This is the sorting process. Look, don't get caught up in the back and forth, and definitely don't start answering questions, because you have given that business owner or you've given that HR director enough information to say no, but not enough to make an educated yes. So do not get into a back and forth answering questions. Remember, your goal is to set the appointment. To set the appointment. I'm going to say it again, to set the appointment. You're not going to close them over the phone. You're not going to do it. I promise you, it's not going to happen. Unless they were already looking for you. There is a caveat. Some are going to say, send me some info. Look, avoid that at all costs. Avoid, I know you're going to be nice, but avoid it if you can, because that's going to leave you in a land of maybe. You're going to be sending emails, you're going to be sending brochures, you're going to be sending mailers, and I'm going to tell you what I do when mailers arrive at my household. I can tell you what happens when I receive an email and it's unanticipated, or I'm really not checking for it. It doesn't get viewed. It doesn't get looked at. You're going to keep calling them. Did you take a look at it? 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 And the answer's going to be no, no, and more no. Okay? It just is what it is. I'm going to come back to that, though. I didn't say don't send the information. I'm saying try to avoid being boxed into that situation. So my response typically, once I've done the pitch, so to speak, right? Or if they've asked me to send additional information, is to say, look, I understand. I know you're busy, as am I. In other words, I'm letting them know, look, I'm not about to be on the phone with you for 20, 30 minutes. And matter of fact, they will appreciate that. They're busy. They were not anticipating your call anyway. You need to get on and off the phone. I understand. I know you're busy, as am I. But my experience has taught me that human resource executives, my experience has taught me that business owners, my experience has taught me that entrepreneurs typically don't make decisions based on a telephone phone call. I think you'd agree with me, right? What time of the day will work best for you for 15 to 19 minutes, morning or afternoon? I'll come back to the 15 to 19 minutes later, but psychologically understand there's a reason for that. Look, what time of the day will be best for you for 15 to 19 minutes, morning or afternoon? Do not tell a business owner or an executive when to meet. Don't do it, right? They're accustomed to telling other people when to meet. You're calling them, say, hey, can you be available Monday at 3 o'clock? Come on, right? You're giving them the choice, but you're really leading them. You're guiding them to where you want to meet with them. And that's the approach you want to take, right? So what time of day works best for you for 15 to 19 minutes, morning or afternoon? You already have your calendar in front of you. You know what mornings and afternoons you're available, right? They say morning. Well, okay, how about Monday at 8, 9, or 10? If they say Wednesday, well, how about, and if they say afternoon, how about Wednesday at 1, 3, or 5? Or how about Friday at 1, 3, or 5? Or how about Tuesday at 8, 9, or 10? You want to give the illusion that they're making the choice, but the reality of the matter is you're setting an appointment, but you don't want to be pushy, right? And you want to make sure that the time is amenable, that the time is something that's convenient for them. But you already know from looking at your calendar what days and times you're available. You're just kind of guiding them into that time slot, right? And of course, you want to set the appointment sooner rather than later. The further out you set that appointment, that gives them time to forget. Keep in mind, you were only on the phone for a couple moments. So depending on how many individuals called in that day, they're going to forget about you. Okay, unless you have some type of email contact confirmation system, that's a training for another time. But of course, the fortune's in the follow-up. You must follow up. You must confirm that appointment within a week of the appointment. You must confirm it 3 days for the appointment. You must confirm it the day of the appointment, and maybe first thing in the morning. And it's not going to be just via email. It's not going to just be via text. It's not going to be just via verbal. You need to do all three to firm up that appointment. That's a training for another time, right? Now, if you're forced to leave information, you have to leave information behind, right? They're not giving you a choice or an option. Understand that you're leaving information behind because you're utilizing information as a tool and as a reason to follow up. Think about the multiple exposure process like dating. You don't want to be weird, right? You want to be a little bit creative. You want to share different pieces of information every time you follow up with them, whether it be via email or the mail. Most business owners, professionals, they're utilizing social media and they're utilizing email to receive and, quite frankly, to sort information, kind of figure out who they want to work with and what the information is. But compare it to the dating process, right? Be a little bit creative. Don't be over the top. Share different pieces of information, make it different, make it new, make it novel, right? You follow with them every other day. If you're not able to reach them, follow up with them weekly. If you're not able to reach them then, follow them with every 2 weeks. Move it to monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. You do that, you graduate to that over the course of time. You stagger your calls, morning, early afternoon, evening, right? You leave messages perhaps every second or third call. You don't want to inundate their voicemail. You want them to remember you. You make sure your voicemails are polite, right? But you don't want to have a situation where you're leaving 3 and 4 voicemails every 2 days. That becomes a problem because you're filling up their voicemail, and at this point, guess what you're doing? You're annoying them. And so next time you call them, you're probably going to hear the message of, look, I'm not interested. I don't have time. Please stop calling me. You don't want that, right? Because now the door is locked and you're waiting for that new decision maker or that new whoever to sit in that seat. And that transition might only happen every 3 to 4 years, and you have time for that. So here's the thing. In terms of the referrals, and especially with HR directors. So you're not able to get the appointment right then and there.